Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Creativity Connects with Mikki Wilson. This is a creative collective podcast where we go beyond the brands and explore the journeys, creative sparks, and messy middles of women in business. I am Mikki Wilson, your host. I'm a team member at Creative Collective and the founder of Dot Connector Consulting. I am the Dot Connector. My mission is always to bring women together, create spaces for real connection, and help build collaborative relationships that move their work forward. Creative Collective is a business support program that provides modern tools, strategy, and community for small businesses and creators. So through this podcast, we spotlight the women in our network who are doing really impactful and meaningful work. Not just what they do, but also the how and the why of what they do. Today, I am joined by someone whose work is bold, brilliant, and deeply, deeply intentional, Dr. Tariana V. Little. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, Tariana. How are you doing today, my friend? Are you ready to have a great conversation?
I am so happy to be here, Mikki. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm excited to have you because just recently I saw you on a panel through North Shore CDC that they did highlighting LGBTQ plus entrepreneurs and really tapping into their stories and what led them to do what they do. So the audience does not know. I got a little bit of insight for your story, but the pieces that you shared were so powerful and the timing aligned to have you come on. So I'm really excited to go deeper into that conversation and let people know who you are. So I'm just going to start with a little intro so our listeners can learn more about you. But Dr. Tariana V. Little is the CEO and co-founder of EmVision Productions, an award-winning social impact storytelling agency that helps visionary organizations communicate their value and values. And you can't see it, but I can. I love the trademark on this social impact storytelling. Very important. Tariana holds a Doctor of Public Health from Harvard University, is an emerging philanthropist, and serves on multiple nonprofit boards. But what stands out even more for me is how she blends science and storytelling and justice into what she calls intentional creativity for social change. I love this. She's a proud queer, mixed-race, first-gen college graduate from a working-class Dominican German immigrant family, and she brings that lived experience into every space she leads. So, if you are ready, my friend, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. All right. I like this. I'm doing something a little new. Listeners, get excited, and you're going to be the first. But I want to play a game, and I call it Connect the Dots. It's very on brand for me, but I think it lends to how we get to know you more. So, Tariana, give me one person, one place, and one thing that unexpectedly shaped your creativity or how you show up in the world?
Wow, that is an amazing question, Mikki. I have to give a shout out to my partner, my life partner and my business partner, Jonas. He has inspired me so much because the way that EmVision started, we were two poor college students pursuing very different paths. I was on the way to be a scientist. He was studying psychology. He's a musician and filmed a music video, bought a cheap camera and said, I want to do this, as my career. And I'm like, what do you, we have to pay rent. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
We're trying to get real jobs. And he pushed me to think about, hey, maybe there's something here. And I put on my scientist hat and I was like, okay, let's post free gigs on Craigslist and let's give ourselves a 3-month deadline. So this is like the hypothesis is, if we make money within 3 months, maybe there's something here. If we make zero money in 3 months, this is a hobby. This is not a job. And he proved me wrong before the 3 months were up.
I love this.
So I had to challenge myself and take him seriously and build a path together where we didn't know where we were going, but we were trusting in ourselves and taking chances. And so I credit him for just planting that seed that then we together cultivate into something bigger.
Oh my God, I love this so much. Um, uh, is there one place in particular that inspires or informs some of your creativity? Is there a particular place that inspires you or motivates you to show up in the work that you do?
It's not a place, but it's an experience between places.
Okay, I like
So
this.
I grew up in Boston in Dorchester, and I was a METCO student.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I used to go. I don't know if you know. I used to go to Roller World back in the day, and I met some Metco boys for sure. Yes, ma'am.
So
I do. Great program.
Yes,
too. Yes.
it's a great program, a needed program. And so I was bussed out every day for like 7 years, middle school all the way to high school, from Dorchester to Framingham.
Yeah.
That navigating those places, both
Okay.
where I lived and where I was being schooled, and the bus and the journey, all of that, that informs my work. You know, merging science, storytelling, and social justice, because I lived so many inequities. Even
Yep.
as a small kid, I just didn't have the language for it.
Yeah.
But I was living it, and I saw it every single day. And it wasn't until later in graduate school, getting the language, understanding patterns and systems, was I able to make sense of my world, but also my place in it.
Yep.
And through EmVision, we help visionary organizations that are doing amazing work, that are calling out inequities, but also proposing solutions. And we use storytelling to lift up the voices of marginalized populations that have something really important to say about their lived experiences and about solutions that we need in the world. And so that is how I feel, you know, it's a throwback to the experiences I had going between different locations and seeing inequities, living it.
Yep.
And now I'm in a place where I can center that a little bit.
Oh, I love this. We're going to the third dot because I see a little bit of a pattern here. And listeners, don't you love this game already? Because it actually gets to the who, the how, and the why faster for me of what informs our work. So I love that I'm starting to see this pattern come up. Is there one thing, a moment, an object, something that has left a mark on you? In what you in addition to what you've shared already, that informs maybe informs your drives your creativity, or again really was a pivotal moment in how you show up in this world.
I love that question. I don't share this publicly, but I vision board.
Oh, I love this.
I've always
Just
done
did
that.
one this year.
You did?
I used to be the girl that made fun of them, and now I'm like, oh yeah, I see why people do this. Okay.
Why do you do it?
So I did it because I came to a point in business where I couldn't see my long-term vision. Everything has been like day to day. Some of it feels like, I used to say all the time, like, all right, I knew I got the name right of like my personal brand and the business, but I used to joke and I say, I feel like this business is telling me like what it wants to be.
And you have to listen.
And I have to listen. And it's funny, everything I've ever created, it comes back full circle.
Yes.
But when I was really trying to get the foundation of my business together and really create some sustainable revenue, I worked with a business strategist. Shout out to my friend Sally. And she was like, all right, well, what's your vision for like 3-5 years out? And I just realized like I couldn't even vision past like a year. I was like, oh, I'm just trying to vision paying the rent, you know? And so I had talked to enough people and I work with enough women that are like, oh no, these things like that I put on the vision board. And I just started to realize something doesn't become real until you put it in front of you or until you speak it out loud. And so I ended up doing the activity actually with a friend that I was like, you should do a vision board. And he was like, all right, well, do you want to do like the vision boards together? And I was like, okay. And so I did a little mini vision board, but it's so funny because even when I look at the words and the pictures on it, it is the motivation that I'm like, all right, stay the course, be patient, like keep showing up. And then the other aspirational things too. But I found that I needed something to help me unlock my future vision. And it's so funny, maybe that was my turning point that you're helping me realize. But in the last, what did I do that in January? From January till now, and we're in, we're in July now, is I have pretty clear vision on where I'm going, much clearer than before. So yeah, historically I'm the woman that used to make fun of the women on the retreats and everything. I'm going to be accountable for it, but I turned into that woman. So the irony doesn't get lost on me. I'm like, okay, I had to go through this journey to really understand. You have to really understand the tools that you're recommending to people too, because when you have confidence in them, it's easier. But yeah, that was my little vision boarding journey.
I'm so glad. I'm happy that you had that experience, because then you understand. For me, vision boarding is sacred. It's one of my self-care rituals. I collect magazine cutouts. I organize them. I have them all spread on the table. I put some Erykah Badu. I have my coffee, and I channel what is it that I want. I like to do yearly ones or birthday ones because of the energy that I'm trying to bring into my life.
Yep.
And I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Okay.
So since high school, I've been cutting up, and I have albums of my ideas for the future and who I wanted to be and what I care about. And I've continued that until now. And even becoming a mom, I vision boarded around pregnancy and birth and my vision for my kids. So I love to be able to tap into things that can come from you, and like that journeying, that inner work that I think that activity does. And like you said, painting a picture of that future that you want.
Yeah. And I will share this with you. It's funny, before I hadn't thought about this. You helped me connect the dots, and I already see a collaboration in our future, quite honestly. Before that vision board, I had maybe 2 years ago, I ran an event with a friend, and it was called Cocoon. And I had women do vision boarding at the event. And because my friend Chanel Anderson was like, she really believes in vision boarding as well. And I was like, okay, we can do this event. We'll bring in vision boarding. And I think I was into the aesthetic part of it. I was like, let me get the good magazines and everybody can put together the thing. And I put a vision board together while I was there. But I will be honest with you, and I think I still have that vision board. Nothing came. I won't say that it won't come in the future, but nothing really came to fruition in that vision board. And I believe that I didn't have the belief in the vision that I had when I've done it now in January. So I could go back and build on that vision board. But it's funny because when people do vision boarding now, the kind of thing I'm thinking is like, okay, are you just doing the activity?
Or the intention. It's a ritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this for you. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of context on what informs you. And I think it's important because, again, the work I do with women, I see a lot of times the connection that needs to be made, the connection that they're missing is what about your lived experience actually does inform the work that you do. Going back and reflecting, and sometimes it's not always fun, but going back and reflecting, like, what are we pulling from that in a good way that we can actually look at those past stories and be super proud because they inform the future. So between Jonas, your partner, the vision boarding and how that is a ritual and an intention for you, to those trips on the bus and the METCO program and all those experiences in between, how they really inform your process. So I just want to say thank you for playing Connect the Dots with me. Your prize will be outside the door when you leave here. This is our little new game, everybody. But hopefully you enjoyed, listeners, because it's really about connecting those dots that lead us to the now and into the future. So I hope that you all take a chance to reflect on what has your journey been and what in your lived experience actually informs the work you do wherever you do it. So thank you. Now, I want to point out, because in this process, right, I asked for some intake, and thank you so much. You sent me your information, your bio, and everything, but you had a note at the top that I absolutely loved, and it was in reference to your name. So I love the doctor part. I'm aspiring. I'm going to go. I'm going to do it someday. Philosophy is my thing. I know. I have a plan. I had a vision. And so we have Dr. Tariana V. Little. And under that, you had requested to honor the V in your name because it's important to you and your heritage and putting that forward. Before we started recording, I shared with you, I signed my name, Mikki L. Wilson, because it just reminds me of my dad and stays connected. And it's also like, for me, a differentiator, right? Because not a lot of people, seems like important people in the world also use their middle initial a lot of times. So I shared that. So before we move on, I wanted to ask that of which I noticed in that you included that V in your name, and knowing that's intentional, can you share with us what the V stands for and why it's important for you to carry that forward?
I've been using my full name since I was a kid. So there's Tariana that comes from my mother, who's from the Dominican Republic, and then there's Veronica. That's the V. That's from my father, who's from Germany. He would have wanted it Veronica with a K in the more traditional way, but I don't think my mom would have let him have that. He was under the impression my first name was going to be Veronica, and then she did a last switch up at the hospital, and I was like Tariana Veronica Little. So he still brings that up to this day. But I love it. I think it flows really well, and when I put that in my bio, it's to honor their legacy, the names that they chose for me, but also for me to stay grounded and be proud of who I am. I've gotten my name butchered so many times. I'm Tariana, but I get Toriana, Tarina, Tatiana, everything in between. My sisters are Tariana, Gloriana, Tatiana. Okay?
Okay.
There's a lot of Anas because my grandmother's Ana. You can imagine the mix-ups that we get,
Yeah.
even within our family.
Yep.
And so I've had to learn how to honor my name and also have it be pronounced correctly because I don't, there was like a quote about like that your name, it should be like, it's okay if it's hard to be said or, you want somebody to struggle to say your name because it proves how truthful they are in the intention of wanting to capture who you really are.
Yep.
And I've had to push myself to be like, I want somebody to truly be able to pronounce my name correctly and to see me, and I want to, stand my ground in that way. It's just a way to preserve the dignity of my history and who I am and not be palatable to someone. I have to be authentic to me. I have to be accountable to me.
I love that. I think names are super powerful. And I was glad that we'd had this conversation because even my name, Mikki, Mikki, I've had to spell this thing. So to the point when I sound it out, I do this exaggerated like Mikki because I have Christmas ornaments with like an N because of that whole thing too. And again, we had chatted about this and I was like, if I say it wrong, don't be like, you have permission to correct me because I will correct people if they say my name wrong. And it's also funny, names give like assumptions too. People assume that I'm like an Irish white man when I walk through the door. So I love seeing the look on the face like, oh, you didn't really read those two Ks in the middle of those two I's. And then also the story of my name is hilarious because we don't know who's telling the truth, my mother or my father. My mother wanted like Mackay, like accent on the I because there's French Canadian in my family. But then my dad's nickname is Chicky, and so I'm pretty sure at this point that he might have won, and like it's going to be Mickey, and then if I was a boy, I was supposed to be Michael. So we have no clue. That's the mixture of the stories, but names are so important. It also allowed me to stand out, I feel like, being able to correct my name, and I've never been ashamed of that. But yeah, I think it's a great topic and conversation you bring up of the connection between name and legacy. But then also two things. Us being confident, like you're gonna recognize my name and say it correctly. And this is my personal brand that I was born with. So let's respect the brands and the product and the person and the things. But then also that legacy, because I love the story between you have a bunch of Annas in your family, right?
I do.
And we have Tariana, we have Gloriana, and we have Tatiana. And that spell check does a disservice because the number of times I had to change it from Tatiana to Tariana, I was like, look.
I get it all the time. Like,
you're added to my dictionary.
My little sister, not me. But.
I think that's so important. Oh my God, thank you for sharing that because again, I think it's very important the way we show up and identify. But also ask people to respect us. And it's true.
Yes.
You can tell when somebody's being lazy about like your name or if you had the conversation when they still continue to do it wrong without explanation.
Or like, I'm going to butcher your name anyway. It's like, no, can you,
Look,
why should I have to be the recipient of you butchering my name?
Right.
Why do
And
I have
sometimes
to?
I'm like, it's not that hard. We have two
Yeah.
ears and a tongue. I'm pretty sure it's not that hard. I've been Mikki. I love that one because I'm like, where's that coming from? We've never had that conversation. It informs me of how
Yes.
I'm like seen. So
Yeah.
I love this
Yeah.
conversation. All right, let's dive in. Let's go around. Let's dive a little deeper into the who, the how, and the why. But you've done so much. Who are you at the center of all this work? Not just the titles, but who's the person behind the storytelling, the strategy, the impact?
Tariana, lifelong nerd, book lover,
Love this.
dictionary reader, love to travel. I'm a deep person. I like to talk. I like to, I don't like small chit chat. I want to like, who are you,
Yeah.
Mikki, right?
Yep.
What drives you?
Yep.
Being in connection with people in ways that are transformative.
Mm-hmm.
I like to like think a lot, and I bring that to my work and being able to interview people and being able to access people's stories and what a gift that is when somebody welcomes you into their home or their community and opens up their heart to talk about some of their darkest, most traumatic experiences. And I have to hold that delicately and in a way that leaves them still empowered and happy that they went through that experience. So I'm a holder of moments. I'm a holder of truth, hopefully.
Yep. Powerful. Okay, I love this. If you could sum it up, why does the work matter to you beyond the brand or the business? We know that on our hardest days, we keep showing up to do the work, right? I love that you all proved in 30 days that the work was worth doing and showing up. But on those hardest days, when people ask us, like, why do you show up and keep doing it, right? What keeps you committed to it personally?
For me, it's easy to be committed. I've had to be committed since I was born, to escape, intergenerational poverty, be the first in my family to be born here, 1st to go to college, to, speak a new language, navigate the culture that is the U.S. and succeed in this culture, which is already messed up.
Right.
I've had to be committed to be able to navigate all those systems and get to where I'm at. So for me, it's easy. I live this every single day. What's different now is that I have a platform. I have a successful small business. I have a family, beautiful friends. I'm able to live with purpose.
Yeah.
And love what I do every single day. I'm able to like learn, be a student of life, of other people, of organizations, be creative. I mean, to be living in my truth and to be making money while doing it, making a difference. Like it's beyond any vision board dream, honestly, Mikki. It's beyond anything I could have ever dreamt. And how we channel that commitment is the impactful stories that we tell through our social impact storytelling framework. The creatives that we hire and that we support and making sure that they're well paid, that we have vacation, that we're doing meaningful work. That's a culture of volunteerism and really giving forward to the community and making sure that if we're doing well, the community around us should also be doing well. The team should be doing well. So at EmVision, we give forward through pro bono storytelling to BIPOC-led nonprofits. And one of my career joys, one of my personal joys is being able to endow a scholarship at UMass Boston called the EmVision Social Impact Scholarship Fund, which supports activist graduate students that are doing work in the community, trying to be change makers. Oftentimes, these students, because of the program specifically, who it attracts are also first gen everything.
Yep.
Coming from backgrounds of intense resilience and resistance and trying to navigate this, this world and this society. And so for us to be able to offer flexible funding and help them to finish their graduate studies so that they can go on to continue leading in amazing ways, I mean, it's easy for me to be committed because I've lived it. I know I'm a living impact of all of that. And so I'm just now in a position to contribute just a little bit further to other people's journeys.
I love what you're doing, the intentionality of it and how you're giving back. But I fully hear it, and I hope listeners do too, because what resonated for me is, this sense of like peace and freedom that I experience from living in purpose and being able to show up and monetize the work that I do. And for every business owner who's had a hard time with revenue, cash flow, or anything like that, for me, those problems can be fixed. Get yourself a good business strategist, a trusted advisor, somebody like that. But you can't take that away from me. You can't put me kind of in that box that I lived in. So I love that you're really empowering future graduates of UMass that are already advocating and out there being community activists, like a pathway to continue that too. So you motivated me. I'm like, my little dot connect her scholarship is going to be a thing.
It will happen.
It will happen. It happens actually inside of my community. I started in my community for the person that just doesn't have access or resources, because I don't think that you should stop progress or momentum or innovation. Like, money shouldn't stop that, and neither should systemic barriers, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's usually the reason that the person comes to me and says, like, it's really the money. And I'm like, all right, well, I can be creative and work around that, because I can't, as long as you're in, we can work the money
we
thing.
can fix that little part. And, you know, what got us started was seeing another graduate do it, another, you know, alumna. And I'm like, how did she do it? I want to do it too. So just seeing other people do it, like, you don't have to be super wealthy. You know, anyone with intention and with the right planning and guidance, you can do that and impact someone's life. It's a gift.
So even just one, right? That's always saying the just one, but I can see how you're touching so many. And the world you know this, but this is what comes up for me, is like, the world needs you more than ever in what you all do, and your clients and what they're bringing to the world too. So I'm seeing now, in a time of chaos, division, uncertainty, all the things we could go on, the one common thread that I'm seeing come through all this is community. Especially for women, it seems to be more important than ever, and for creatives as well. It's very meaningful for the work they do, and to not feel alone, right, and to be seen. So I'd like to ask, what does being part of a community like the Creative Collective mean to you?
Being a business owner is hard on any given day. Right? Now, put on top being like a principled business owner that's trying to do something really intentional and that has community benefit, and you're trying to like live your truth, that makes it even more challenging, because capitalism. So having resources like the Creative Collective, where it's intentionally bringing community together and trying to offer resources, for me, you know, has been so affirming. When I go to the coffee meetups, when I'm able to attend, I walk away sometimes wanting to cry, because you're seeing like-minded people who you can trust, who you can be inspired by, who you can build something with, right? So attending gatherings like that, or any of the programming that they have, it's like, what's the word, like cataclysmic? Like, you can just, you know, you're catalyzing new relationships, new ideas. And I love that. I think, you know, as business owners, we may think, oh, it's me, you know, I'm the leader. No, we're all in community. You need other people to support you. We only thrive when we work together. And so we have to actively seek people who are going to support us and champion us. And so resources like the Creative Collective do that for us.
Yep. I love that. I love that. I talk about circular community and the power of it, circular economics, this theory of we have to all invest in each other. That doesn't always mean money, time, energy. Supporting people's dreams is free. That's what I always say.
Love it.
Just told somebody recently. Saw it somewhere. I wish I knew who I could give credit to. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so true. Like, you can support entrepreneurs for free. You just have to be willing to invest something. So I love that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say.
I was going to invite you to come in with the final thought.
I'm so inspired by that. I'm so inspired by that, because we can all give to that, right? If it's free, if supporting dreams is free, that's within all of us to do. Right? With each other, with ourselves, investing in ourselves by that belief in ourselves, and then finding the like-minded people that want to support you.
Yeah, it's totally free. And I'll go a little bit deeper, because when I had that little epiphany, when I saw those words, I was like, oh, this is so true. Because I realized that people are out here crushing dreams for absolutely free, for free. And so, and I think the entrepreneurial journey, you find the people. It's always a tough one, but sometimes it could be the people closest to you that question your dream, and that is discouraging. And I find in my community, with a lot of women I work with, it almost feels like they're investing in the fact that I believe in them more than they believe in themselves sometimes. And that just leads me back to, remember when you were growing up and we all had this one teacher or this one adult, and they're just like, go do this thing. They see something that you can't see, but your trust in them is so deep that you're like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to go do.
I'm
Trust
gonna
me,
go
I have
do it.
college
I'm gonna,
degrees based
yes,
on this belief. So,
yes, yeah,
but
same.
that whole belief. So yeah, super powerful stuff like there. It is free to support an entrepreneur. It is free to support a dream. I question people who question and criticize people's dreams. What are you costing the world?
I was gonna say, killing dreams is very expensive.
Very.
When you kill someone's innovation, someone's dream, you're shutting down someone who can create the next big, book, piece of art, scientific discovery, right? Game-changing business model.
Yeah.
Let's not kill each other's dreams because we're hurting society. So I'm a big believer in living in alignment with your truth, finding what your passions are, what your skills are, what is your unique contribution to the world. Try to follow that. And if you can build a business around that or a living or, have that be part of what you do every day, the world will be so much better, so much happier, so much
better.
I don't know, it'll work better for everyone.
Yeah. Imagine that, people. Yeah, I just want to say, don't be a dream killer, please. The best investment you can make is in other people's dreams, and supporting them, because crushing them, it does cost a lot of money. I used to be in wealth management, so I'm very big into we are the investment. You are the investment. Be around people that invest in you, not that cost you. So I think that is the period on that. Tariana, oh my God, we're going to be besties. I already know this. The listeners, I know they love you. Any last words? I'm going to share all the info in our show notes and anything, but I want to start to close this out with you having the last word. Any last thoughts you'd like to share, and please let the people know where they can find you.
Please, if you have access to any creative material, I suggest people to do vision boarding with intention. Follow what is your intentional creativity for social change. And to follow our work at EmVision, www.em.vision.
Love it. And we are going to put those in the show notes. So let me just thank our listeners. That is it for this episode of Creativity Connects. Huge thank you to Dr. Tariana V. Little, respect the V, y'all, for sharing not just what she does, but who she is and the experiences and values that continue to shape her impact. This podcast is brought to you by Creative Collective, a business support program for small businesses and creators offering strategy, tools, and connection. Because building something meaningful doesn't mean that you should be doing it alone. If you want to connect with Tariana and learn more about EmVision Productions, please check out the show notes for links and ways to stay connected and get connected. And if today's conversation moved you, please, as I always ask you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because these stories are meant to be passed on. Until the next time, I am Mikki Wilson, your dot connector, and this is Creativity Connects.